Hello Craftaholics, and if this is your first time here, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Peggy and welcome to my studio. And welcome to National Craft Month of 2023. So today I have just an easy little project for us. It is something I made to hold ephemera and trims and things when I'm making an album or a journal or something. And it's just made from envelopes. And it's got a Velcro enclosure. And we just have a front page. When you open it, we have a pocket here. There's a flat page here. My fingers aren't working. Open that one, we have another pocket here. We have a pocket here, and we have a pocket here. Now you can also take the blank pages and you can add some paper and make a pocket on these as well if you need extra. Or you could put a tuck spot to tuck things in. But it's a really easy project, so I thought, what the heck? So let me show you what you're going to need. Okay. Hopefully I remember how to make it. No, I'm kidding. I had these envelopes I got at Hobby Lobby. I actually got them for $3.74, and I wish I had bought more. But they are just 5x7 with a 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. And we are going to need just 4 of these. 2, 3, 4. Oh, and the neat thing about it is it can actually be a little mini album too if you want it to be. I think I have 5 there. There we go. There's 4. Okay. So just need 4 of the envelopes. I'll put that away later because it doesn't want to cooperate. Okay. Going to need. I'm using Barely Art Glue. As you can see, I need to order more. But I have put it into a smaller squeezy, easy squeezy bottle that I got at Dollar Tree. The cap I did get on Amazon, which I will list below. I'm also going to do some inking on it a little bit. This is just Distress Oxide and Walnut Stain. And just a plain old little distress tool. And I have to look up the paper pack, but this is actually a journal set. A French-inspired journal set, which is the other one is as well, that I'm going to use to cover it. And it's just on 32-pound paper. It doesn't have to be 32-pound. It could be regular copy paper. I just did it on paper to make the entire project itself like as least amount bulky that it can be, so you can put more ephemera and other pieces in there. I'm also using some Velcro dots that I got at Dollar Tree, and I also have one of the cards from the kit for the front for decoration. So we put those aside for now, and first I'm going to do is actually put the envelopes together. So let me move these aside as well. Now I learned the hard way about inking it because I tried to ink it once it was all put together, and it didn't work very well. You can barely see it. But the first thing you want to do is take your envelopes. And now this is personal preference, but I also think that it just makes it function better. See where your envelope opens and you have that little piece there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut just across each one to kind of separate it. There we go. It makes a cleaner opening, and it makes it easier when you're putting paper down and everything. I just like the way it looks a lot better. And remember, if you don't like the way these are going to be sitting, like, let me show you this one, how they're just glued down here, you can actually put another piece in to cover this. It doesn't bother me, so I don't mind. But you can actually cover that up also. Especially if you're going to turn this into a mini album, I would definitely cover the back part up. But for what we're using it for, just for like an ephemera holder and it's fine. Unless it really, really bothers you, then go ahead. Okay, so I'm just going to cut all of these. And that's another mistake I made. I tried to cut it when it was all together. And with my hands, if you have hands that bother you, it's not that easy to do. Let me put those aside, my cutter bees. And I'm going to take some glue. Make sure my tip is clean. And what I'm going to do is on each of the little flaps, I'm going to glue them down. So they are totally out of the way and forgotten now. I hope everybody's doing good. Like I said, this is National Craft Month, and it is the month. I did the other video on Cards for Cubs, and if you're interested in that program, now is the time to sign up and pledge your card numbers. I have got to get more of mine done, but we have until the end of this month to get those submitted so they can send them to some kids in the foster care system across the country. But okay, there, those are glued down. Awesome. Okay, now the construction's really easy. I decided to use a flap as the closure, so that makes that really simple. We're gonna do is take our first 2 envelopes, and I'm gonna put glue on this flap. Let me move this up a little bit. You know what? Actually, let me ink a bit first. I'm gonna ink the inside pieces, just because I like that look. You may not like that look, and if you don't, that is cool. Don't worry about it. Just skip this part. But I like that shabby kind of look, especially with the kit that I'm using for paper, which again, I will have to, I'm not sure if I got it on Etsy or off of Creative Fabrica. See how it just kind of helps with that little definition there. See, make it a little bit of separation. But I'm gonna have to look and see where I got the kit, and I will put a link down below in case you're interested in it, or the one I used in the other, on my prototype over there. Got a little bit of ink on that. Sorry, my hands are being very slow today, and I'm not wanting to work very well. So, and I may also go back, and on these little pieces, I may glue those little corners down as well. They're kind of lifting up a bit. And I mean, although it's only an envelope and stuff, I still want it to last a bit. You know, I don't want to go through all the hassle and have it fall apart. So, okay, there's that. I'm going to do that just real quick. Go back and do all these. But, so, and this also goes to show you that, like, if you buy something to make a journal out of, you can do other things with it. Just like vice versa, if you buy a paper kit to make an album, you can make a journal, you can make anything out of it. Try to think out of the box when you buy things. It definitely helps your supplies go further. So, and again, you guys know I really like digital kits, because then I pay one fee and then have it forever. And something like this, if you don't have a Cricut, don't worry about it, because that has like, or a silhouette or anything, it has nothing to do with anything like this. This, I just print these out on my printer, and period. There's no cutting machine involved. So don't think just because you hear digital that it means you're going to have to use any type of machine, because you do not. Okay. All right. Now, let's get back to it. I'm going to take my first... Okay, I'm also going to... Sorry, guys. I know I'm making a mess of this. I'm also going to ink that part for this one, because it's going in here. And it would be impossible to ink once it's in there. Okay, so I'm just going to take some glue on the flat. Now, you can also use double-sided tape, but glue just gives you that little bit of wiggle room when you're working with something like this. And I really should have my glasses on, because I do not have them on. So you want to make sure that that'll close. And press that down really well. And no, I did not ink this part, because this is going to be covered anyway, and I would not want it to stand out. So there is that. Hold on a second. I'm stretching. Okay. Glasses. They definitely help. Okay. Now, these other two, I'm going to take the flaps and fold them backwards. Okay. On these other two. Now, if you want it like pockets facing pockets, leave them as they are. But I am doing it the opposite way. So I am folding them backwards like that. Now, I am going to take, this part gets a little on the tricky side, I will say, because you're going to slide this in like that, so it's even. Now, with something like this, a lot of times I will actually use Fabri-Tac. Okay. And I don't know why. I must, you know what? I know, I was going to say, okay, I know why that this is covered now. I put all this together before last time, before I cut the little pieces. So, okay, a couple of them you won't even have to worry about covering if you don't want to. But I'm going to put, I don't know. Sorry, guys. I'm going to just put some glue around here. That's all. Don't need a lot. Again, you can use tape. I don't think that I would here because it's a little more difficult to wiggle those parts in. Then I'm just going to put that there and making sure I can still fold everything over. Now, I will be fixing score lines because to make everything nice and neat and even, I can fix that after it's put together. Okay, I know that sounds weird, but if I try to adjust it now when I add the new one in, it's going to change it again a little bit. So I have my fourth envelope, and again, just glue right around there. There we go. Okay, and again, I'm going to slide it in this way, and I'm going to make sure that it is even with the other envelope, and then everything closes neatly. And there we go. Okay. So the only two that are really uncovered are this one and this one. I'm going to close it up, and I am a little crooked, so not a big dealio. First thing I'll do is I will take it and I will pull it all over to try and make it nice and neat. Those are all lined up nicely. Just try to keep everything nice and neat and give them both a good firm pressing with your bone folder. There we go. Okay, that is the base of our project. Now I am going to go ahead, because like I said, I like to ink things. And if you don't, that's fine. You don't have to do it. I just like the way that it looks when it's done. Especially when I'm using a journal kit, because they have a tendency to be a little more shabby anyway. So the ones, at least the ones that I buy, but they don't have to be. If I was using something like a regular paper pack that had like white in it, I would not, probably wouldn't ink the edges. But because this is kind of, you know, vintagey looking paper well, it is vintage looking paper that I'm using. I am going to do this part. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't, you know, it's for me to make me happy right now. So let's do this one. Sorry if I'm too high up so you guys can't see what I'm doing. But I'm just taking my ink and just rubbing it on the edges. Just to ink it up a bit here. Okay. I'm going to go right across this one. And I'm not doing a lot. I never do a whole lot. But just enough. Let's do this side now. And that's one thing, when you ink, you have to be sure you do both sides. Because you will see it on both sides. Okay. Let's get this a little bit more. And now I will do the outside. Like I said, I just like the way, I didn't do all this on the prototype one. Which, had I done it, it probably would have looked a little bit better. But, and this isn't something that you're really, I mean, you can decorate this if you want to. But it doesn't really need to be decorated a whole heck of a lot. I'm just getting all the edges here. Just because it's only there to hold ephemera and stuff. And yeah, I know I got some smushies on there, but it'll be covered, so it's fine. Okay. Smushies. Smudges, how's that? Ay, ay, ay. Ay, caramba, as Bart Simpson would say. Right, that's who said that, right? Because I don't watch that show. But anyway. I know, oh my God, blasphemy. I don't watch The Simpsons. You know, what can I say? Alrighty. Just a little bit more here and there. But yeah, where ink has gotten on these, it'll be covered anyway, so it doesn't matter. You know what? My paper's flying everywhere. There we go. Oh my goodness. I am working on... I'm trying to organize a lot of my stuff, because my supplies, because it's like just a downright mess right now. I'm also going to do the outside edges here. And I am, sorry, I know I pulled that close to me so you couldn't see what I was doing. But I want to do a video on how I'm in a small space, how I'm crafting, because, there we go, okay. Honestly, I don't know if I said this before. Oh, I can use that for the papers too. Where I'm crafting is actually the size that my whole apartment would have fit in my studio that I had in Arizona. So it's a bit of a change. Okay, the first thing I want to do, and I didn't do this, I just tried to freehand cut these, and they're kind of wonkish. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a pencil. This is going to be on the front of my closure flap. So I'm going to put this in here. I want to do this, I'm still thinking of it. I'm going to center it up and down. Oh, that's not going to work that way. Okay, I'm going to change my idea. And I'm going to put it under here. I'm going to try to center it. I'm going to try and center it. So I can maybe trace. I probably shouldn't have cut it down so far, like all the way down. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work this way either. Okay, just going to try and trace where I need to cut it a little bit with some pencil lines. I don't know if it's going to work or not. We'll have to see. Let me... Okay. When you're trimming, remember, always move your paper, not your scissors. You get a better cut that way. All right, let's see if... Oh, let me put that in there. For some reason, all these kind of glues, they clog up real quickly. Okay. Yeah, it's still not lining up right because it's so angled. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take it in on a little bit of an angle. It's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. The other ones I actually tried using a corner rounder. I'm just cutting just a little bit off at an angle. I tried to use a corner rounder, but once you've actually cut the angles in, it won't work, believe it or not. Okay, this one needs just a little bit more. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just trying to make it look the best that I can. And honestly, if you make one of these, you don't even have to cover it with paper at all. Okay, that is going to be, okay, that'll look good. And then what I will do is, this one is going on the inside to go this way. So what I'm going to do with this, I just want to get these ready. I'm going to kind of line these up together. And I am going to just trace where I cut the other one. Okay. And the backs are not white because I had actually printed these out. Originally, I was going to make a journal out of them, but I decided to use them for this project instead. So whenever I'm making a journal or an album, and I have, like, ephemera pieces that I've made, I always make sure that I print on the back as well. Yeah, it works for me. There we go. Okay, let me put those aside for right now. So... well, actually, this one can go on the cover. It'll help pick a cover paper better, but I think I know what I want to use. So all I'm going to do is just put a bead of glue around it. There we go. Again, this is a pretty quick little project. And even if you're making them into little albums, you could probably whip a couple out in a day, honestly. A little crooked. Let's straighten that out. Okay. Now, if you do make it into an album, sorry, I had to readjust my little tushy there. I would find thinner scrapbook paper. Because like I said, you don't want a whole lot of bulk. We can go into making a better album out of envelopes. Maybe we'll do one of those next week or the week after. But for this design, you want the thinnest paper you can use. That's why digital is great for this. So what I'm going to do on the front, and I've already pre-cut the papers. These are, all the papers are 7 1/8 high. Because you know I don't like a whole lot of space around it. These are like I said, everything is 7 1/8 high. These are, let's see, the main pages are 5 1/8 wide, and these are the pages that go on here, which is why cutting this makes it a lot easier. These are 3 7/8 wide, so 7 1/8 by 3 7/8, and this is 7 1/8 by 5 1/8. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I chose this one for the front, and I'll show you why. I usually don't use a non-busy one, but I figured this is going to cover most of, a portion of it anyway. But you'll see. That's why I have some one of the journal cards for decoration on the front. And then just center it on the front. Make sure it's heck of a time to check now, but make sure it's right side up when you're putting something down. Okay. You know what? We can put this. If you're going to put magnets in, like you can use magnets. I would put the magnets down first before I put this piece down. But I am just using Velcro. Sorry, guys. The camera, I just noticed it jumped a little bit. So it's because my hands are up closer. It is set to focus on whatever's closest, so that's why it jumps sometimes when I'm moving my hands or moving papers or something. And we are trying the dark background. I kind of like this. It's more, honestly, I've been getting a lot of headaches lately. And this, the gray, the dark gray, instead of the light gray from the other side, is a lot more soothing, I think. All right, now I just need to figure out what I want on what page. So I have this page. These are my 3 pages, and then I have 4 of these. So, what is going to look best with what? I don't know. Thinking maybe that with that, because they're kind of facing each other. Let's, maybe the bike and that. Her and that, and then that. Okay, there we go. So I will put the bird cage picture. Like I said, this is a quick project. We're at, what, 23 minutes in. That's just because I've been yammering. So, yammering and inking. And you could ink your papers, but I didn't want to make you guys have to wait through that as well. And, I don't know a whole lot about editing videos. So I don't know how to speed stuff up, but I need to figure that out. That is one of my goals for this month, is to figure out how the heck to edit better. And I'm not, you don't need, with these kind of glues, with this glue or even with art glitter glue, you don't need a whole lot of glue. You just don't, because they're very good stickability, and you don't need a whole lot. And like I said, you can also put something in here to cover that if you don't like it. Okay. Oh, this one is this one is going to go on this page because it was by itself. Okay. But you don't need to fill the whole page up with glue. Just, you always, the goal is to use the least amount of glue possible, really, when you're gluing something down, because you don't want it oozing everywhere and whatnot. Okay. Oh, did I do an extra bit? I did do an extra bit. No, I had the back. Okay, I saw the back. Forgot about that. Oh, my goodness gracious. Okay, so we have this one, which I think will do the bike. No, actually, I'm going to do, yeah, I'm going to do the bike and the balloon and then the lady. So, it was easier with the other paper because it was just floral. Floral and Eiffel Tower stuff makes it a lot easier. Okay. I'm thinking I got these kits on Creative Fabrica because they're smaller. And a lot of times on there, kits will be small. I'm going to put this over here. Will be smaller than they would be if you bought them on like Etsy or something. I mean, I could be wrong because I got these last year in the fall sometime. I don't remember. But like I said, I will, if I can find them, I will find them and I will put a link below. Well, if it's in Creative Fabrica, I will not be able to put a link. But a lot of, unless you join Creative Fabrica, and a lot of times they actually do have a really good prices, like for an annual membership and whatnot. But, and if you don't know what Creative Fabrica is, it is, and this is not sponsored or anything, it is, I'm going to put this on my back. It is a place where content creators go and they make, gosh, you can find sublimation files, you can find journal kits, you can find files for the Cricut, you can find, there's a lot of files for like a Glowforge. There's just, God, there's everything. And there's even, if you make t-shirts and whatnot, they even have like mock-ups where you can add your design to the mock-up for listings on Etsy or whatnot. So there's a lot of stuff on there. Okay, now we have our book. I'm just going to give it another. Okay. And now for a closure. I, like on that one, since I used 3 because I tried 2 and it kind of bubbled in the middle. So again, I'm going to use 3 sets of these Velcro dots. There you go. That's what they're called. Yeah, that's it. But now when I use them, I put the fuzzy, like the softer side, I always put that on my flap. I don't know why. And I put the rougher side on the bottom. And I will take it off like that. I put the rough side up. Then I pick it up with my tool. And put it kind of in the middle. Now, I'm just eyeballing. I'm not measuring. You don't really have to with a project like this. With an album, I would probably measure it out, honestly. But, okay. Put our second one there. And one more set. And I also like the idea of putting 3. I mean, you can even put just 1 in the middle. But I just, like I said, I don't like it the way it flaps. I like it shut nicely. This will also help hold in if you kind of bulk it up. Let me get this one. To where it's like really bulked up with ephemera and stuff. It's still going to hold it shut if there's 3 of them. Then I just take it with all my 3 sets there. I fold it over and give it a good rub. Get those down nicely. And there, the first opening is always the hardest. And there's that. Okay. Now, I do have, like I said, I have this journal card. And again, it doesn't matter if anything's on the back or not since it's going to get put down. But I just thought this is kind of plain, just the music page. So, just going to ink the edges a little bit. Make it stand out a little bit more. Let me get a little bit more up here in the corner. Again, it's just personal preference. Going to take some glue. go around the edges, a little bit in the middle. And again, that's pretty much, if you can see it, that's all the glue that you need, not a whole lot. And I'm just going to kind of center it up and down and between the flap, just so you can see it nicely. There you go. And then my glue, I will burp it. And this is like I said in another video, this is a good way. Hopefully you can hear it. I don't think I could hear it in the last video, but when you're done with your glue, squeeze it until you don't want it to come out the top. And then, there. You squeeze it and you suck it in. And it clears all the glue out of the tip. Hopefully you heard that that time. Close up my glue. Make sure my ink is closed. Put that back. All right. And we have the one that we made today. So we have our front and our back. And again, you could actually add a pocket on the back too if you wanted more storage. And you could even leave this open at the top or on the sides if you wanted to use it as a pocket. Open it up. And we first had this pocket. And again, on this page, you could make a paper pocket and put it down. Or you could just do like half a sheet of paper and leave it as a pocket. Totally up to you. We have this one, then this pocket. Flip it open for this pocket. And another plain page that, again, you could just do half a sheet and keep it as a pocket. Or, you know, if you're using a journal page like this, you could print another one out and you could kind of cut around the image, paste it down, and use it like a pocket. You can even do that in an album. It looks gorgeous in an album. But that's it. It's very simple. If you fold it up right, it works a lot better. Very simple, but now it can hold all of your ephemera or your... Okay, somehow my camera stopped. All right, so as I was saying, there you go. Easy. Hold all of your ephemera or your trimmings while you're making an album or journal. There you go. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And also share it with a crafty friend since it is National Craft Month. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so now. I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That is my goal this year. I know some people have like a 50,000 goal. I just want 1,000. I'm starting small. And there will be giveaways at different milestones that I reach. First one will be at 500. And I'm at like 335 now or something. But there you go. Subscribe. Sit down and make a few of these today. And I will see you in the next one. Happy Crafting Month. Bye, guys.